Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General Mattis, it seems a real concern I have on Afghanistan is the level of corruption and how I think it compromises, not only the ability for the Afghan government to have any type of capacity in terms of establishing governance over the country, but the military as well. I mean, all the institutions. It seems that corruption is so pervasive. In your view, are we making any gains on this problem?
Sir, I know we are making gains. Whether those are transient and whether those are sufficient, I don't know. It is a reciprocity type society, and that is okay. We can deal with that. It's when as you pointed out, when it interrupts or prevents the provision of government services, when bribery is such a way of life that the poor people basically see that these chips are stacked against them. I would just say that it is really the strategic biggest Achilles heel we have. So we're working it. We've got a task force working it. We've got active measures underway. The officers are told if you suspect someone is corrupt, you do not have to work with them. There's no requirement to work with someone that you find corrupt in the field. Get the word back up the chain of command. At one time, they didn't, something as simple as that. They didn't realize they could just break off from that person. But you're dealing with a society, sir, that for decades has had no belief in tomorrow. And when you don't believe in tomorrow, you do whatever you can today to get your family ahead. And until we create more of an environment where there's hope for tomorrow, where there's jobs and government services are provided in a manner that you don't have to go the corrupt route, it's going to be a generational change, I think, sir.
Okay. The green on blue violence, Afghan soldiers killing U.S. military personnel and the coalition partners, ISAF personnel. Are those incidents, well, I assume they're down now because we've pulled back, it seems, in our interaction with the Afghan security forces, but it's critical for us to have that interaction in order to be able to move them forward. Can you comment on where we are on the green on blue violence?
I can, sir. Thank you for that question. It goes to the very heart of trust. So far this year, one attack. Okay. Now, I do not get complacent. I think I know why it's gone down. Has to do with training, has to do with counter intelligence training we've given to the Afghans, so they have ferreted out some of these people inside their ranks and caught them. And we have very good techniques for doing that. But I would tell you, if you went over there today and contrasted to when you were over there 2 years ago, you would probably find very little difference in what you saw as far as our troops interacting with their troops. We are very much involved with them, integrated with them. We are obviously taking what you would consider prudent measures in the field to protect ourselves. But at the same time, they've lost more of their boys in green on green than we've lost in green on blue. So we have had wholehearted support from the Afghan leadership in addressing this problem, and it appears to be paying off.
In terms of our drawdown, and maybe General Frazier, this may be to you too, in terms of our drawdown as to the equipment, what equipment are we leaving behind? And out of the equipment that we're leaving behind, what will go to the Afghan military, and are we in fact categorically looking at equipment that will in fact be destroyed, weapons or equipment? General Mattis?
Sir, if we have excess equipment, we'll certainly look at leaving that behind. But if the Army or the Marines, the two services with most of the gear over there, if they need it brought back, it's coming back. So it's got to be really excess if we leave it. But we're also, as you know, standing up the Afghan forces with equipment that's bought specifically for them. For example, the light armored vehicle is one that is low maintenance intensive. It's easy to maintain. So we're not going to leave them a complex system that becomes more of a burden. So we will outfit them. We'll leave behind some gear. We'll bring most of it home. and we would probably destroy or demilitarize those things. It's just not worth bringing home. Will?
Okay.
Sir, just briefly, we are working very closely with the material recovery element that is on the ground. They have a deliberate process that General Mattis is talking about where they actually categorize that equipment. Once we have disposition orders, then we will either turn it over to DLA to be destroyed, or it will be transferred, as General Mattis said, to the Afghans. It could be declared as excess defense articles. There's a separate process by which that would go through in coordination with state and countries who are looking for excess defense articles. And then there's the rest of that we will be bringing home. So the processes, the procedures are in place, and we're confident that we have all the guidance we need.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.